Man, this shit is gone crazy. So MGK dropped off a great record, you know, and I didn't really know what to expect. I just wake up and I'm like, oh shit, MGK dropped a goddamn song. Then I see the video for it, and I'm like, no way. Out of everybody Eminem dissed, you gotta respect the fact that, MGK actually replied to it. Now, some would say that he sent out a tweet in 2012 talking about Haley, which at the time Haley was 16, and I think MGK was 22. And he looks at it as he was just joking around and Eminem couldn't take a joke. But at the same time, some of them bars and metaphors he was saying in the song was kind of dope. You know what I mean? Does MGK have a point? Is Slim Shady a little bit too old to be acting like the bully, but then turn around and acting soft? I mean, I don't gotta really quote no bars that he said. You already know what he said. You heard the record. I think it's dope for hip hop, man. This era we live in, where everything is so PC and everybody's so sensitive, it makes for great content. Now, do I think that Eminem will come back? I personally want him to, but some would say, why would Eminem stoop to a level to respond to MGK? Who the fuck is he? Y'all gotta remember, this nigga Eminem went at Benzino, and we all know that nigga was corny as fuck. Like, call it what you want. He could have been a street nigga doing his thing in the streets. Before his music, I mean, he was trash. He's the same guy that put his group in his own magazine publication and gave him like 5 mics and all that, and his groups was horrible, trash. You know what I mean? But it's not about Benzino, it's about MGK and Eminem. I mean, at the same time, in 2012, Eminem still wasn't as popular as he once was. Even then, I mean, he ain't even on today's standards, he's not really as dominant as he once was. So I feel like MGK, he kind of got M on this one. I know a lot of people are like, you sound fucking crazy, it's Eminem. Yeah, I mean, but everybody look at Eminem like he a guy. Like, Hov ain't never put out weak albums. You know what I mean? Some will argue that the Carter 4 is trash. Some will argue that, Kanye West has a couple bad albums. We know notable artists that have a couple bad albums in their catalog. Kid Cudi, everybody praise him, but he definitely have a few stumbles across the way. But I feel like this is dope. I do want to see where this gonna go. I'm a little disappointed in a lot of people that, far as I would say prominent figures in hip hop didn't respond. Joe Budden, I'm definitely disappointed in that. I don't really want to hear the podcast. I don't want to hear, the journalistic side of Joe. I want to hear the rapper side of Joe. That retirement bullshit, I ain't really for it. Drake, you know what I mean? He can use the excuse that he was on tour and argue that, the ghostwriting shit, I'm over that. It is what it is. But MGK sit there and say, you know what, fuck that. Y'all just stopped me popping a bottle of champagne. That was it. Nah, I'm here. And he's standing up for his generation of rap. Whatever generation you would call that, from the era he's from. But the only thing I didn't like about the song is, like, you can't call a nigga a GOAT, reference him being the greatest multiple times, and still, throw slugs at him. It's like you patting a nigga on the back at the same time stabbing him. You know what I mean? But I fuck with the record, man. I definitely like the line where he said, what'd he say? Slim Shady can't stand, or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But now the crazy part that he said about smashing Kim, she not even attractive. She wasn't even attractive when M was fucking with her. You know what I mean? So I was like, I mean, you probably smashed Halsey or however you said that bitch name, but I always thought she was a lesbo, or I guess bi, or whatever new word this generation comes up with, that they don't want to be labeled and shit. But I mean, that's cool. He smashed Halsey, but smashing Kim, not similar to 50 not, or technically did smash Rick Ross' baby mama, and she was trash too. So I was like, yeah, I ain't really I'm not rolling with you smashing Kim. I really don't care about that shit. I mean, goddamn, Eminem can't even keep this bitch from staying, in a, I guess, subsequent relationship. She's always been a whore. That's basically from what I got from Eminem. So you want brownie points for smashing a hoe. Niggas be weird with that shit. They be bragging about bitches that really is hoes out here and like, oh, I smashed her or I beat though. Like, but she's a hoe. Who can't hit that bitch? I mean, it is what it is. But I definitely fuck with the record. I know I'm everywhere right now, but the song is fire, man. I fuck with it. And I'm just hoping that this actually goes somewhere. I mean, M is going... I mean, he could break down MGK career, but I feel like if he do reply, he gonna just rebuttal most of the shit that M feels that MGK was lying about. I mean, he didn't. He stopped him from going to the radio show. Do I think that he has enough power to actually stop his push at Interscope? Yeah, I mean, remember what 50 said about Jadakiss? Keep playing, I'm gonna push style shit back. But then they try to come on and say, no, he can't really push shit back. I think 50 at that time had enough power to be like, yeah, put this shit on the back burner. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. But I mean, this shit got fans going back and forth on social media. The weird shit that I ain't really respecting is how y'all sitting here saying, oh, I don't even know who MGK is. You niggas is lying. If you're a Wiz Khalifa fan, you know who the fuck MGK is. The Mind of a Stoner record. You know who Waka Flocka is. You know who the fuck MGK is. Wild Boy. Like, stop playing. Like, that's the shit that where it's just like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm not really understanding that. Now, maybe if you was born in, let's say, 2010, and it's 2018 now, okay, maybe you have a point. But at the same time, if you was born, you know, if you was in, like, middle school and shit like that when MGK was out, you know who he is. So I ain't really rolling with that shit. Like, oh, I had to listen to the EMINEM disc to find out who you was. Bullshit. Like, that's the thing I don't like about fans when they do that lame ass shit where they be like, oh, I didn't know who he was until he got dissed. Like they did the same shit with Joe Budden. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, there's no way that you didn't know who the fuck he was. You know what I mean? Before Everyday Struggle. Knock it off. Because in the same context, you look in the comments like, oh, Lil B killed this nigga. But you just said that you didn't know who Joe Budden was. Shut the fuck up, man. Y'all niggas kill me with that dumbass shit. But yeah, I'm here for it, man. I'm still was hoping that at least Drake would do something. Like, come on, man, this is dope. Like, you went at Hove. Like, you know what I mean? That's the greatest of all time, regardless of what people say. And you have a chance to go at M. And I'm like, what the fuck? But the thing about that, even when Eminem did diss Drake, you know, supposedly dissed him, subliminally, whatever you want to call it. Remember in Recovery when he said he almost did a record going at Kanye and Lil Wayne, and he said, I know they would have handed my ass to me, and I knew it. So it's like, you was scared to go at those two because you felt that your pen wasn't as sharp, but you feel the need to go at Drake. Which some will argue Drake kind of surpassed, you know, Lil Wayne with hit records or songs that have more of an impact than anything Lil Wayne did. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying new generation people, they argue that fact. But I do always feel like Lil Wayne signed Drake for the simple fact that he's seen the potential and knew this will be his competition. And let's say Wayne didn't sign Drake, Drake was definitely replacing Lil Wayne. I don't care what nobody say, and I'm a huge Lil Wayne fan, but let's not get it fucked up. Lil Wayne to this day can still not drop a hit record. He put out 2 bullshit records, last week, Blood Clot and some other shit, and they ain't hitting. You know what I mean? So Lil Wayne need to do something, get back in the studio, get back on this shit, and drop some shit like he did on Dedication 6. But, I mean, as far as Eminem, I mean, how much longer can he actually sustain his, I guess, mythical power in hip-hop? Because to me, he still ain't making mature music like, you know, Jay-Z is, or, you know, notable artists of his age bracket. I mean, he tried with Revival. I think he had a good start, but it wasn't executed right. Did all that to get the attention of President Trump when nobody really give a fuck. You know what I mean? So nobody care about Trump like that. But he still haven't really released no body of work that I feel like for his age bracket really sets him apart from his old Slim Shady, you know, personality. And I think that was always a problem where people enjoy Slim Shady. They don't particularly too much care for Marshall Mathers. But throughout his bodies of work, he has a lot of meaningful records, and it's just like that's really all you had to do. You know what I mean? Even on Marshall Mathers LP2 when he dropped Headlights, that song to this day still make me tear up, where it's like, that's crazy. Like, for him to just put all the bullshit to the past and be like, you know what, I was wrong. You know what I mean? You see that on his new album with Stepping Stone. So I just feel like if Eminem really got out of his own way, he can definitely deliver that, mature body of work that I think most people, his peers at least, and people in that age bracket can really identify with and salute. But I mean, this beef, if you want to call it that, I mean, it started, but we'll see where it ended by the end of the week. Eminem is on the clock. I don't give a fuck if people call him the rap god. He on the clock, man. I'll give him 48 hours to respond instead of 24. You know what I mean? But what y'all think about this little beef? What y'all really think about, MGK new diss record to Eminem? And what is your favorite bar in that song? Thanks for listening. I'm going to holler at y'all, man. 1.